There we go. Looks like I am live. Let's see here. I am live. All right. Hi. Thanks for joining me on this Wisdom Wednesday today. And today's episode or theme is about the curse of the negative Nellie. And this is going to be looking at it today, both from the point of view of someone in your life who is a negative Nellie, as well as when that clarity moment comes to you when you find out or recognize that you've become one. But first, let's make sure I get everything set up here there we go, that you can see me and her and the PowerPoint at the same time. So let's start with our reminder that you can live in harmony with the infinite wisdom that dreamed you into being. Because this is the basis and the foundation of pretty much everything that I do. And if you don't know me, my name is Carrie Fox. Well, let's change the slide. There we go. And one of my main missions in life is to be a constant reminder of your infinite wisdom connection. I also help women who feel wounded or broken to regain their magnificence. And I do these Wisdom Wednesdays because your thriving is my passion. So today's theme was inspired by how many of us have been or are getting drawn into the conflict and the negativity that's happening out there in the world around you, and how easy it is to get drawn into the fear and the distrust and the judgment and even the name calling. So when I was growing up, negativity and positivity was almost always attached to this image, how you looked at that glass. Is the glass half full or the half empty is a way of telling if you are a negative or a positive person or have those tendencies. Or to recognize when you have two people in front of you, which one is the positive one and which one is the negative one. So let's face it, negativity can grow on us. It can grow inside of us, and it can actually affect your life. And most of us just want to uninstall negativity when we realize that it's starting to fill us up. And if you can't be positive, don't you want to say to people, then just be quiet? So people do not enjoy being around someone who is plagued with negativity. If you are finding yourself losing friends, people are staying away from you, it might be time to check your vibrations. So sometimes negativity has a way of sneaking up on people. And one of the innocent ways that that happens is how we interpret percentages. How often someone will look at the future as there's a 20% chance of rain, without realizing that they could actually look at the other way and say, guess what? There's an 80% chance of sunshine. So please, if you are involved with people who are negative and finding out that it's starting to pervade your beingness, pervade, I'm not sure that's the right word. So please, people, everybody, stop spreading negativity. And another thing that's bad about doing that is when you are getting affected by this negativity, it can spread into other parts of your life. An example would be if you've gotten into an argument or somebody at work and your coworker was just being bad and you got into it, and then right after that you went home, well, you're going to carry that home with you. You're carrying that burden with you through the rest of the evening and maybe into the next day until it's resolved. So what's happening is you're bringing this negativity and stress and anxiety into your home, where it then prevents you from fully engaging in the kind of relationship that you want to actually have with your family members during your off work hours. So something I learned a long time ago about negativity from one of my bosses when I was in real estate, he said to me one time, do you know you can wipe out 1,000 atta girls with one aw shit? And that has stayed with me forever, and I've used it and I've taught it to so many people. It doesn't make any difference if somebody has complimented you 100 times. When that one person comes in and says something bad about you, it can quickly change your internal dialogue. And now all of a sudden, instead of thinking that you're doing pretty good and you're happy with where you're going, you're wondering what people are thinking about what you're doing and what you're saying, and it changes everything. So too often as women, we take a magnifying glass and we zoom in on the flaws and the weaknesses that we might have. So let's get grounded by taking a deliberate and conscious intention of putting that magnifying glass and viewing the good things that we do. Now, there's an old Cherokee adage, I think it's Cherokee, where a grandfather is talking to his grandson. And the bottom line is that he's saying inside of all of us, there are two wolves. There's the negative wolf and the positive wolf. And if you wonder about which one is going to be the one to be dominant, it's the one you feed. And if you can continue to feed the wolf of negativity, it can turn into so many more deeper problems, internal problems, serious problems, like maybe even depression. So I want you to be on the lookout for these following signs of encroaching negativity, either with you or with someone else, and maybe a little bit of how to avoid your having your own black cloud over your head. What was his name? Joe Schmerker? So the first is, watch your posture. Do you remember when you first got a new job, how you walked in bright-eyed and bushy-tailed and standing straight and your head was up and you were sitting tall at your desk and maybe drinking vegetable juice for lunch? Well, I know that you recognize that as some kind of version of something like that happening to you. But then with time and setbacks and disappointments, your bad moods have started sinking into you. And before you know it, you're slouched over your keys. You're slumping as you walk. You're sneering at your screen. Even if you're just stressed or inattentive to the ways in which your posture might be wavering, it's making you look bad to your boss or to people who might be thinking about giving you a promotion or something. They value positivity and outlook and professionalism and demeanor, so straighten up. Then there's the complaint department. If you want to be seen well by other people, stop the complaints. If it's too cold or too hot, the meeting was too long or too short, the coffee sucks, your weekend sucked, the printer didn't get me started, oh no, whatever. It doesn't make any difference. Sure, you're not constantly complaining, but even if there are things that you could reasonably complain about, stop complaining about them altogether, especially if it's not in your realm of work to be able to do something about it. If you find yourself ranting and raving for 10, 15, 20 minutes at a time, you need to sit yourself down and ask why you're suddenly so frustrated. But whatever you do, keep your complaining to a minimum. Start to notice every time you do it and keep track. Another thing that you can do is force yourself to be friendly. I know that sounds awful, but I want you to think about how many people call you, ask you out to lunch, want to be in your presence. If the answer is none or few, and especially if there used to be more, it's time for you to sit down and do a little looking on your attitude and your positivity, negativity balance. So even if you aren't a people person, like I'm not a people person, I'm a hermit, I'm an introvert, try encouraging yourself to be a little more social and be in a little more social atmospheres. And the best way to do that and to make friends is to be upbeat and be pleasant to be around. And also, I want you to think about cutting the pessimism. When I wrote this up today, I knew what I was going to say there. Anyway, it's when you're being pessimistic and being an annoyance, that's a bad sign that you might be giving over to negativity. But don't worry, because even if you slipped into the negativity bubble, it's not too late to pull yourself back out. Nobody likes a negative Nellie. It's time to get yourself back on track. So how to remove the negativity from your life? You do a negativity detox. When you choose positivity over negativity, you will start reaching your goals quicker. You'll be more motivated, excited, and you'll just be more happy. And it's much easier said than done, but it can be done with a little practice and intention. With the intention, I know that you can do this. Oprah Winfrey said, align your personality with your purpose and no one can touch you. So I want you to make sure that you're aware of what your purpose is in life, at your job, in your marriage, or in your family. What's your purpose for this year, for this month, for this week, for this day? And then see what you can do about looking at and doing steps towards that purpose. And guess what? It will make you happier. You will be more in a more meaningful daily life, and you'll feel so much more satisfied. So as you align with your purpose, you feel the why behind your life, and you give reason to the things you do. It automatically removes the negativity as you finally hit your feel good spot, the point where you're doing what you were created to do. Because guess what? Negativity and positivity cannot exist in the same space and time. Now, the next moment, a different one can take over, but you can only do one at a time. So why not deliberately be in the positive zone? And there's so much energy out there. As I said in the beginning, and the negativity in the world right now is amazing. The hatred and the anger and the holding grudges and the feeling guilty, these are all negative feelings. Well, we can learn to avoid negativity completely. And I invite you to evaluate the things in your life that bring you bad energy. In other words, feed the good wolf. So if you need to, write lists of things to be grateful for. This works for so many people, the attitude of gratitude. Or just in your personal prayers, find time several times a day to just be grateful for something. Now, a quick and simple thing that I teach people to do is whenever you are catching yourself being in a negative situation, to just stop and pause and look around your environment wherever you are and choose 3 things that you have right now within your view to be grateful for. And then take one more second to realize why you're grateful for it. For instance, if you look over there and see a vase of flowers, you can be grateful for them being in your view. Why? Because they're beautiful and they're of nature. Or you can land on something that your great-grandmother gave you. Those are the kinds of things that you can do anytime, any place, anywhere, and as many times a day as you want to, is take a 3-minute gratitude pause and find 3 things to be grateful for. So another thing is to surround yourself with people that help to bring you up and keep you positive. Also, beautiful things like nature and peaceful music. Get involved in activities like services to your spouse or with your spouse, things that are helpful for your family or your community or your neighbors. When you surround yourself with positive people in wholesome and uplifting activities, you will become more positive. Big one for me. You've heard me talk before about those old stories that we hang on to. And so here it is again. Stop believing those old stories. Reliving your past hurts only causes negativity. It can truly stop your growth, stunt your growth. Past life experiences can hurt terribly, but don't let that into your today life story. Learn to rise above the negative thoughts, see things for what they really are. And if you feel negative towards someone, try sending them some good energy. It's a wonderful habit for you to develop. And I had to stick addictions in here because a lot of people think of addictions only as drugs, but there are so many other addictions that actually are negative to you. There's the addiction to drugs and alcohol and porn and other degrading and harmful habits. There's too much TV, too much media, too much phone time. All of these things can truly degrade your commitment and your harmony with your soul. It causes darkness in your life. It kind of blinds you to the good things in your life because it's taking over your awareness. So whether you get addicted to something like social media or shopping or Netflix or food, you can still help by getting an accountability buddy, somebody who maybe can help you be accountable at the end of the day or the week or a month, or how you've done on overcoming these addictions. By overcoming addictions, finding a balance in your life, you have more capacity for things from a grander and more beautiful perspective. We see that in order to remove negativity, we need a healthy balance in our lives. So it means that it's time to look seriously at why you are experiencing this negative emotion. And is it really the other person's fault? Because it's amazing to me how often it is a negative reaction to something somebody else is saying or doing to you. So when that happens, stop and think, okay, wait a minute. Is this really their fault? Or have I got something in this? Have I got a horse in the game? Is that the expression? And before you feel like attacking that person or doing insults or one-upsmanship, whatever the case may be, it's time to stop and think, is this them or is this really me? So how the effects of negative emotions and a negative attitude affect our health. Just think about the different vibrations between something negative and something positive. When you're feeling positive, your energy is light and high and bright. And when you're feeling mad or angry or hurt, your negatives are low and dark. Well, that energy is pervasive through every single cell in your body. And that's how a great amount of disease is created in our bodies by inflicting stress and doubt and fear and stuff like that into the cells of your system. So tell all the cells of your body to be wonderful and happy and bright and light, and you'll be surprised how much healthier you can be. And to understand also that in this controlling your emotions thing, you can only control yourself. You cannot control anybody else. Now, you can influence somebody else by being a good influence on them or a bad influence on them. But when it comes to actually controlling all of this stuff that we're talking about, you and only you are in control of you. So train your brain to reject negativity. Push out negative thoughts. The minute you hear them, stop them. Now, if you are a negative Nellie, chances are that you have specific things that you complain about all the time, that there's sentences that you've probably said not only to 30 different friends in your life, but some of them you said that sentence 3 or 4 times. They know it well. Well, when you hear that negative coming out of your mouth, that sentence coming out of your mouth, as soon as you recognize it, stop it. You do not need to finish a sentence once you realize that it's a negative sentence. In fact, you'll get really good at this, so that instead of having half the sentence out when you stop yourself, pretty soon it'll be the first word or two and you'll recognize it and you stop yourself. And then before you know it, the moment the thought comes into your head, you stop it and you don't say it. You can get that good and that easy at removing negativity from your life. Okay. And then to offset that, let's put more positivity into your life. Make time to do the things that you love to do. If you've got hobbies that you love, make time for them. If you have people that you love, make time for them. If there's some exercise that you know you should be doing and you enjoy doing it, start making time for it. Anything that can be focused on and enjoyed by you is a good distraction away from negativity. So again, I request that you choose positivity. In one of the things that you can do to help yourself is to do that publicly. If you have friends that you've maybe even had the conversations about, that you're recognizing how negative you be, you can get them on board as your allies to be a part of your team, that they let you know when you're slipping into negativism. And I wasn't planning on using that word. And also recognize this. When you do something negative that irritates people, they recognize that and they see it and they react to it. But when you stop saying negative things, the irritation is gone, so they don't necessarily notice it. So you can ask them to please pay attention, that if they recognize that you have cut out the negativity or that you've added positivity, that they please tell you that. Remember the atta girls and atta boys? Yeah. Get their feedback in a positive way, saying, hey, you're doing really good about changing negativity to positivity. Then there's the way that you can change your way of thinking. And one of the prevalent things that people who are negative do is they say, I can't do it. Well, it's so easy to change that to I can do it. It's just a T at an end of a word. So you can adopt the behaviors that we've been talking about so that you gain the attitude of, I can do that. I can do that. So you have a choice. There's no reason to be negative or to upset someone else with your negative attitudes. You have the choice to be positive or to be negative. You can choose how you affect people around you. You can affect them in bright white light or in dark black light. You can focus on yourself. You can keep your chin up. You can take care of business and let other people know how you're viewing the world in a different way than you used to. So here's a list of things that you can do if you catch yourself being a negative Nellie. The first thing is take a daily thank you walk outside in nature. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And you can eat healthy foods. Not only is this good for every single cell of your body, but I want you to think about the difference of the effect on your cells when you're eating healthy food versus, let's say, fast food. And along with that goes overeating. Try not to stuff yourself. Stuffing yourself has a very similar reaction in your cellular system of your bodies, as does eating, bad foods, fried foods, processed foods, etc. Your body only really requires a certain amount of food. So when you're upset and you feel like stuffing your body, try to stop yourself from doing that. Try to stop yourself before you feel full. Try to give yourself a 10-minute window. Eat smaller servings on smaller plates, etc. I didn't plan to get into this. And wait 10 minutes. And after 10 minutes, if your want for food, you feel full, is gone, you just learned the amount of food that you actually needed at that particular time. And if you still got a half a plate of food there, put it in the refrigerator for your next meal. Don't force yourself to clean your plate. Don't stuff yourself. Your body doesn't like that. And next, the no complain rule. Try to say, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to complain anymore. And then there's the remember your why. I think I mentioned that already. Yes, I did, because of Oprah Winfrey, is to have an intention for why you do everything, that you're trying to accomplish something, that you have some purpose on the planet Earth. And in order to do that, you have to have certain activities that you do. And a part of that is you being a positive person. Then there's the get more sleep. This one is always such a big contention with so many people, but let me just put it this way. Nobody knows how much sleep you need. Okay. Nobody else knows that. That 8 hours of sleep thing is a guesstimate for 7 million people. The bottom line is for you to recognize your behavior, who you are, how you're being able to deal with things when you're getting a certain amount of sleep. And I personally find that sleeping too much is just as bad as not sleeping enough, because you're pushing your body into an out of harmony situation. I do classes on that too, so there's no need to get into it now. But let's say if you are sleeping less than 4 hours in a 24-hour period, that's including any napping, then you may be, and you're finding yourself behaving negatively, then maybe it's time to say, okay, maybe 2 or 3 days in a row, you've gotten 4 hours of sleep. Maybe you need 5, maybe you need 6. Very few people need 8. Most of the people that I've met in my life who say that they need 8, 9, and 10 hours of sleep are people that have learned to wake up naturally at whatever their natural wake up time is and made themselves go back to sleep. And then they got into a sleep hangover. So when they woke up the next time, they're grumpy and they don't feel good, and they delegate that to the thought that they didn't get enough sleep, and what happened is they actually got too much sleep, and now they have a sleep hangover. Again, I didn't mean to get into that. So another thing that you can do is love, serve, care. The more that you can do for other people, the better it's going to be for you, without a doubt. If you catch yourself in a negative Nellie moment, it's time to think of somebody who might need you. Think of an elderly relative who may not talk to many people, or who's in a nursing home or whatever. If you find yourself in a negative Nellie mood, one of the easiest things to do is think of somebody to do something nice for. Instant positivity. Reach out. All right, then we have smile and laugh more. Yes. I don't know if people understand how absolutely easy it is to be sitting there and seeing a sign on your monitor that says smile, and you go, oh, I'm going to smile. And instantly it raises the vibrational level of your body instantly. And if perchance you do have any trouble with that, which most people do not, go to YouTube, find a laughter yoga video, and within 5 minutes, your tummy is going to be hurting from laughing, and your attitude is going to be so much better. So then there's the enjoy the ride. Listen, life is an adventure. You came here for a grand adventure, so enjoy the ride. It might be like a roller coaster ride. It may have ups and downs, but you can still enjoy it. And then there's the get back up. Listen, we all have slide down moments, but don't stay there. Get back up. You have the ability to do that. And then stay away from those energy vampires, which can be people or can be things. You are in control of you. So just like I say every week, if you ever want me to go deeper about something, if you want to hear more about something I've talked about, you just need to leave something in the comments. I'll read it at some time. Or if there's some subject that you're wondering what my take is on it, just put it in the comments. I'll find it, and I will pessimism. And I will maybe do a Wisdom Wednesday on one of those things. So be so positive that negative people don't want to be around you. This particular one drives my son crazy. And I think this is the last one. Consider all negative thinking as simply gifting you a clearer picture of where you desire not to go. So as always, live in harmony with the infinite wisdom that dreamed you into being. And that's pretty much what I wanted to talk to you today. Learn to be aware of negative Nellies, whether they're people that are in your life or whether you are falling into that category. You have people around you who you want to be with them. You have a wonderful and beautiful life to live, so enjoy the ride. And listen, if you're looking for some assistance, this week, I am applying the finishing touches on a new 5-day meditation challenge. Why? Because during these troubled times, it is so easy to get riled up by all the political and worldwide challenges, that having a regular meditation practice is one of the most efficient and effective ways of getting away from all of that and being able to shift your way of being in the world, being able to shift your energy 180 degrees away from the conflict and into harmony. So this 5-day challenge is going to be presented for free to the members of our private Facebook tribe, which is Falling in Love with Life Again. Join our group if you want to be in on this next meditation challenge. Let's see now. Next week, our Wisdom Wednesday's theme is, it's time to stop and think about all the people that have loved you into being. That'll be live at 1:00 p.m. Central Time in the Facebook group, Falling in Love with Life Again. And until then, remember to live in harmony with the infinite wisdom that dreamed you into being. So I'm Carrie Fox, and I want to thank you for joining me today. I hope you are inspired by these Wisdom Wednesdays, and to know that your thriving is my passion I do see that I have a person on, or people can't tell how many on the particular way I'm looking at this right now, who's been chatting along with us today. I appreciate that. Let's see here. The last thing that they said that they liked was to love and to serve and to care. So thank you for being with me, whoever you are, or how many of you are. I'll try to fix this next time so I can see names. Anyhow, so thank you again for joining me today. And please remember, you have the ability to choose. So go out and create your grand adventure. Bye for now.